Hey guys, welcome to today's declutter. Today's going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge declutter. I really need to go through my eye products, like my liners, then my lip pencils, then these are like eyeshadow bases, and then some glitter primers and adhesives or glitter glues, and also my mascaras. I mean, these all come from the same drawer. The eye primers, the eyeliners, and the mascaras, and it just looks like a hodgepodge of stuff. Just like too many things are going on in there that I know I don't touch and I don't reach for. But I also thought I would go through my lip liners just because I don't use lip liners all that often, and some of these I never reach for, and they have been replaced with other ones that I really do prefer, so I thought I might as well throw those in here with it as well. There are some pencils in here, like eye pencils, eyeshadow sticks basically, and then some other things that I talked about in my worst of beauty, and I may have even decluttered some of the stuff that's over here already. I don't know, but I'm gonna permanently move it along. I might have talked about it as like decluttering it in other videos, such as like my everyday makeup drawer and whatnot, but I didn't like officially declutter it for whatever reason. They just kind of went in a drawer. So I still had them. Usually when I declutter something, it all goes into a box and it gets ready to go to my sister basically. So I figured I'd just throw it in here and then it goes straight into the box after this video. So that's what we're gonna do today. Let's get into it. Let's start off with eye products. We might as well. I'm just grabbing like a little section at a time. There's no rhyme, there's no reason. Let's do it. So I have one little glitter liner from Moira Beauty. I actually really enjoy this. It still seems to perform pretty well. It's been sitting on its side, so I don't feel like it's picking up the greatest. It actually shows up in the sense that if it's sitting like over a shadow, it actually shows up pretty nicely. All right, I just turned the brightness up a little bit. I'm hoping to like get rid of some of the shadow here. Anyway, this is actually a unique product. Like in my collection, I don't have anything else like it, and I do find that it shows up pretty well over an eyeshadow, which is basically what I'd want a product like this to do. So I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna put the hold on to over here. Then I have two of these. Somewhere is the left wing. These are from iMethod Beauty. I got these in PR like super early on. They have the stamps, the wing stamps, so that's the right one. It's still kicking, it's still going strong. And then a pretty thick felt tip, but these still work fabulously. So I still use these. I've used these pretty recently. I'm gonna hold on to both of them. Oh, here's the other one. Here is like the left wing. Let me do the left wing. I mean, they work really well. And I'm terrible at doing wings, but I do like to try occasionally to do them. Even though I've been trying wings for years, I still have not perfected them, but I'm gonna hold on to both of these. Now these four I talked about in my worst of beauty for 2024. These were from, sorry, these three were from ColourPop from the Twilight collection, and these were like their liquid liners, but these are awful. They're watery and weird. There's the black one, and it's so liquidy and watery and it never dries down. They're called the Graphics Ink Liners. That one was in Coven. One of these is blue and one of these is red. Here's the red one. Just like super watery, never dries down. No, not good. I didn't like anything from this collection. I really didn't enjoy it. There's the blue one. It's like the least opaque. Like even if you shake these, they don't like have a ball in them, so they don't shake super well. It doesn't get better than those swatches right there. I just don't think that these were good, which is funny because the eyeliners that I have from ColourPop are some of my favorites. I just felt like these were formulated differently and they were not good. So I'm done talking about these for the worst of beauty for 2024. If I talk about any other products for the remainder of the year, I will just do it as a new video and not include all the products that I talked about previously. So those are going to get decluttered. This one from Kiko Milano is the Precision Eyeliner, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's a nice like brush tip. It's not my favorite. Like I don't care for brush tips. Typically I will use a felt, and I have other black ones that I reach for consistently because they dry down so much quicker and they're a little bit more precise, and this one has a tendency to bleed a little, so I'm going to declutter that. And then I have this eyeshadow stick from Luxaza that I also received in PR that I kept out to like smoke out with during my last like eyeshadow declutter, but I've kind of rethought about it since then. It's just, do I ever smoke a shadow out? I mean, not typically. So I'm not sure that it's something I need, but I'll put it in the maybe section for right now, and then I'll take a look at the end to see which ones I kept that were kind of like smudgy like this. This one is brand new to me from AOA Studio. It's their eyeliner pen in brown. This just wasn't very opaque. It's actually looking a little bit better now, but it's gonna be held on to anyway because it's brand new and I haven't even put it in speed reviews yet, so I'll hold on to that one. It's way more opaque now than like the first 2 times I've used it. All right, let's talk about some eyeshadow sticks, I think, that I have just floating around that I've been meaning to like talk about and move along, I guess. I have 2 of the eyeshadow sticks from Rare Beauty. This one is in Compassion, I'm pretty sure, and I don't love this formula. These just don't blend out very nicely on the eyes. They get super patchy and they like skip. Color diffuses in a way that I don't think is like super natural and nice. And then this one is in Integrity, which is a little bit nicer, but it's so creamy and it just looks chunky on the eyes. I've like decluttered them technically, and they were in my reference library just to hold on to in case I did like a full face of Rare Beauty. But I do like to go through those items and pass along things that I'm not using or haven't referenced every so often, and we're doing that now. So I'm gonna fully declutter these. I'm gonna fully pass those along. Couple more eyeshadow sticks. I have one that I picked up from Ulta Beauty from like this weird tropical collection that they had sometime in probably February. It's the Tropical Twist Cream Eyeshadow. This one is in the shade Palm Trees. This was also absolutely awful. Like, again, just a formula that barely showed up on the eyes. It was way too creamy and it didn't stay. It just moved around. It didn't lock down on the eyes. Just sheared out to basically nothingville. So that one is gonna go. I think I talked about that in my Worst of Beauty as well. Then I have, I think, 2 Sephora ones, but honestly, I just see the one, the Colorful Shadow Stick and Liner, because they're supposed to be waterproof. This was Iris Shimmer. It was all right. It was okay. But again, they didn't lock down. They were just too creamy and they sheared away to nothing. So I didn't enjoy that formula, and I'm pretty picky when it comes to eyeshadow sticks. I don't reach for them all the time. Yeah, that's just not a favorite of mine. And then I have the Colorful Punch Longwear Liquid Eyeliner from Ulta Beauty. This is absolutely awful. This was, again, probably in my Worst of Beauty of 2024, but it's like everywhere. It leaks everywhere. It's messy, messy, messy. Again, I don't love these like brush tips very much. It transfers, it runs. I didn't enjoy this. It just makes a huge mess on the eyes. It's like swatching actually better now that I feel like the formula's like dried out a little bit, but not a formula that I need to mess around with when I have like other colorful liners that I think are better. So I'm gonna pass that along. These 2 from Pixi, I didn't enjoy these either. These were the Endless Silky Eye Pens. They did a shade extension earlier this year, and I got 2 of the older shades at that time. This is Brightening Lilac, but these are, again, like so creamy. They don't show up. I mean, this is a lighter shade anyway, but if I'm gonna keep like a shade, I feel like it has to be pretty opaque, because it's probably going to go over eyeshadow, or it just has to be something that locks down a little bit better. I don't enjoy either of these, and this other one is in Pure 24K. Just, again, not pigmented enough to show up over anything, and it just doesn't lock down. It sheared away too much for me, so too creamy. Not gonna hold on to that one either. All right, I think I have 3 from Game Beauty. These are all like felt tips. They're liquid liners. That one's actually from ColourPop. There's 2 from ColourPop. Maybe I only have 2 from Game Beauty. I do have a code with Game Beauty, and I'll list that in the description box, but I really enjoy these colorful liners. They're opaque and they're precise and they lock down and they're like matte and they show through over eyeshadows. They do what they're like really intended and supposed to do. You just get a much more precise line, and they're clean and they don't bleed. This one is from the Persona 5 Royal Collection, and it's yellow in this shade Skull. It's really hard to read. And then this green one is in Oracle. Also, again, like super fine, super opaque, super matte. It dries down really nicely and lasts all day. So I'm gonna hold on to those. And then the ones that I have from ColourPop, I love these also. These are their liquid liners. I have this one in Ducky. These are, again, they're just like when they're opaque and they're precise and they're matte and they last all day, that's pretty much what I'm looking for. And then this one is in The Hills, which is like a turquoise shade, which I really enjoy. So I love all of these colorful liquid liners. And honestly, when I'm doing a nice like indie brand eyeshadow look or whatever, like I grab for these pretty frequently. So I'm gonna hold on to those. All right, I'm just grabbing more. Again, just no particular order here, just chaos. The only real like brush tip that I like in terms of eyeliner is from Moira Beauty. It's the eye catching dip liner, I'm pretty sure. And this one is in, shoot, I can't remember the shade. But this one is like so precise. It's, again, super matte. It dries down. It lasts all day. I think this one is in something berry. Yeah, mulberry. It actually is pretty precise for being like this brush tip. I do enjoy this. I do wear this more than I thought I would because I'm just more into like colorful liners at the current moment. I have some matte black ones that I want to go over, which are liquids. And I'm trying to like isolate those ones. All right, these are all of my black liquid liners and I don't need all of them. I love most of them, but I don't need all of them. The reason that I don't love this one from Urban Decay, the 24/7 inks in Zero, is because of this packaging. Like I thought I would love this because it's nice to grip, but the end, because it's so long, makes it very difficult for me to actually apply on the eyes. It's very matte, it's very precise, it's a great liner. But because when I'm crossing over like my left side and I'm trying to apply it really close to the mirror because I wear glasses and without it, I just don't see well enough not to get super close, this end gets in the way. So I find myself skipping over it every time I'm reaching for eyeliner. So I'm gonna pass it along. The one that's kind of equivalent, but it's like so much thicker than I normally would go for, is the one from Rare Beauty. And this is in the Perfect Strokes matte liquid liner. It's nice. I don't reach for it over my other ones, but because I decluttered the one from Urban Decay, I'm gonna hold on to this one, I think, just in case, because the other ones that I have are getting on the lower side. For example, the Sephora Colorful Winkit liner. This one is my favorite liner of all times. It's so good. Like, it's so precise. It's so matte. It dries down so quickly. It just doesn't budge. It's my favorite. I'm gonna keep it. I think my second favorite in terms of like similarity is the Epic Ink Liner from NYX. This one, again, just super precise. Actually, it's probably a little bit better than Sephora. Like in terms of how precise it gets and how little it bleeds. It's another great one. It's basically these two that I reach for all the time, except I have been reaching for this one so much more recently, which is the Super Fine Liner pen from Essence in black, because it is precise. Like, it is tiny. Like, you can get so thin with this, and it's a comparable formula. It's so matte black, dries really quickly, lasts all day. It's just, you get such a better precision with it. So this is another one I've also been reaching for a lot. This one from Glamlight is from the Chucky collection. It's not a bad liner. I held on to it, but because it was fairly decent, it bleeds though, is the problem. You can kind of see it like feathering up here just a little bit. It's not as good of a liner as the other ones, so I'm going to declutter this one. And the very last one is this one from Moira Beauty. It's the 2-in-1 Lash Adhesive and Waterproof Liner. This is a lash adhesive, so this does get sticky, but it's a great liner. This is a product that I am consistently reaching for to glue my lashes and nothing else. I bought a backup of it. It's brand new in the package in the drawer, so I'm gonna hold on to this for sure because I use that every time I wear lashes. The other like black liner that I have is the kohl liner from Rituel de Fille. This one is in Abyss. Like, the concept of this is nice to have like a kohl liner that's like potted like this that you could smoke out if you wanted to. I'm sure it's a really good product. I bought it brand new pretty recently because I wanted to try a kohl liner, but it's not something that I reach for. I'm just being honest with myself. I feel like this is probably an awful lot of product too, and it's just not something that I'm gonna use. It's like sweating at the current moment because it's so hot up here. So I'm gonna pass it along. I'm gonna give it to my sister, see if she wants it. It's just, I won't be reaching for it, that's all. You know what? I forgot that I had this one. It's the Danessa Myricks Line Work Liner in Onyx. And it's just like broken. It's like leaking, it's like bubbling out. So I'm just gonna get rid of it. I really did like this, but yeah, it's like totally leaking on me. Like it's a really good liner, but every time I use it, for some reason, it's like leaking out of this tip and I've had it like bleed onto my eyes. So I'm gonna throw that one away. All right, let's go through the ones that are like brown and black because I don't need everything. And I held on to a lot of them to like smudge out, and then I haven't done that. So my smudge out ones are the Intense Color Long Lasting Eyeliner from Kiko Milano that comes with a smudger on one side. It's very nice, very creamy. Will I smudge this one over this one that's like an eyeshadow stick? It's not as intense as the one that calls itself Intense. Like it's just not as pigmented as this one. The Kulfi one, same thing. This is meant to be like a Kajal eyeliner, and I think it's supposed to be smudge proof, but oh, I've got some other shade on here. But it's not. It transfers like quite a bit. So this is like a product that I would use again to smudge out. And same thing with this one from Flower Beauty. This one is called the Cream and Chrome Eyeliner Duo, but they're a pencil instead of a like cream. But these also transfer. They don't lock down. So for keeping these, it's basically to smoke out, and I just don't do that often. So as much as I love Kulfi, this is honestly like not my favorite thing to smudge out because it's a little bit of a thinner liner, and it's not even what it was intended to do. This is supposed to be a waterproof liner. It just isn't a transfer. So I'm gonna move that one along. I like the Kiko because it has a little bit of a smudger on one end, and it is like super intensely black. So I'll keep that one. I think I'm gonna pass this one along, the Shadow Stick from Luxaza, and I'll hold on to the Flower Beauty one for now. I almost never like smoke out a liner, but could do it tomorrow, you never know. Here is another one from Luxaza. I pulled this out of a declutter because I've already decluttered it because it was like a white shade and I was using it to do some like face painting on my son. If you guys know, you know, but it like broke. So it just needs to go in the trash. Like it totally broke off. I used a good majority of it. Like that's all that's left. It's just like sitting in there like that. So I'm gonna get rid of that one. The ones that are smudgeable because they just don't lock down are like these ones right here. I think are pretty much the last of like the smudgeable ones, including my Makeup Forever ones. They don't lock down. The Makeup Forever ones are like nice, the Artist Color pencils, and like pigmented and opaque and all that. This is in Whatever Black. It doesn't lock down. So it's not one that I can use like in the waterline. Same with the one that's in white, the All Around White. It's nice for, again, just smoking out because neither of these lock down. But I like the formula so much. It's just super creamy, and like when you start blending it out, it doesn't like lose its pigment. It doesn't like get patchy, so I want to hold on to it. The one from Kulfi, or the last one from Kulfi in Jamoon Glaze, it's a brown shade, just like a little bit of sheen to it. Again, doesn't lock down, so I kept it for smudging out, but it's not a product that I would typically smudge. You know, I could smudge a shadow. Plus I kept the one from Flower Beauty. I just like this one a little bit better, so I'm gonna pass this one along as well. I have one from Give Beauty. It's the Line It Up 24-Hour Gel Eyeliner in Greener Pastures. This one doesn't lock down very well either. Like, it's very creamy. It doesn't stay in the waterline very well at all. It's kind of a nice, like, if I wanted to line my lid with it, I guess, but it's not intensely pigmented. And again, usually when I'm doing a liner like this, I want it to be over a shadow. So I'm gonna pass that along also. The one from Rare Beauty that I held onto, and I think I had to, was in Compassion. This one again, just, it doesn't lock down. These are nice and creamy, and that's great, but boy, do I like something that stays like all day. So I'm gonna pass it along. And then finally the one from Make Beauty in Otherworld. It's called the Continuum Waterproof Eyeliner. It's okay in the waterline, but it doesn't show up super well. It's not like a very pigmented shade in Otherworld. This one is definitely a more waterproof formula, and it locks down a little bit better. Actually, let's just put that in the maybe for now, and let's go through some of these other ones that are like super duper waterproof. Let me go through this one first, the Whoopsie Eyeliner Corrector from Ulta Beauty. This is not like pigmented. This is like one that cleans up messes that I make with my eyeliner, and it is so good, you guys. If you make messes and you want to like clean up just like the edge of a wing or something, like this is such a good product. So I'm holding on to that one. These are the ones that I put in the waterline and I use them super frequently. So I have some from Moira Beauty. They're super opaque. They're the statement gel liners, so they're just retractable liners, but they lock down. So great. This one is in hot pink. I used to have, or I may still have, like 2 red shades. Yes, I do. There's the other one. The red is in just red. So I'm gonna hold on to both of these because they're so good. So good. I would get more of these. Honestly, I would get the whole range. This one is in mint. They're just so good for the waterline. Like, look how well they show up and how opaque they are. And they lock down like immediately and they don't transfer like crazy. And then royal blue, very pretty. So keeping all 5 of those. And then I have 2 like off ones that are just not ColourPop, because I do love the ColourPop. I have the Ultra Precision Waterproof Eyeliner from Catrice. This is just in a brown shade, and I can't even find the shade. It's just brown. But this is a non-transfer like waterproof liner, and it's a really deep like chocolate brown. And I don't have another one that's like that. Maybe this one from ColourPop, but I don't think it's quite as like chocolatey. Then my favorite black that is for the waterline is the one from Sephora, the retractable gel liner. It's just so pigmented and opaque, and it locks down and it doesn't transfer, and I love it, and it's like completely worn off. I would totally repurchase. And then all of my ColourPop ones. These are just so good. Again, they do exactly what I want them to. The green is in Wild Idea. Actually, some of these are multi-chrome. These multi-chrome ones, they come off so much easier. The writing, I think I have 2, just the 2. This one is in Wild Idea. Look how pigmented that is, how it actually flips. So I love this one for like a green flippy, like blue. Oof, so pretty. And this one, I don't even know the shade because it is completely worn off. It's like a purpley green is what this flips. You guys see purple, but I pretty much see like a yellowish green. It's hard to get it to flip, but it's really flippy. And these BFF cream gel liners are so good from ColourPop. Again, I would buy a ton more. Oh, this one got loose. This is the black shade. And just the matte black. Actually, this is the brown one, sorry. So it actually is pretty similar to the one from Catrice, but I'm gonna keep both of them. Here is the matte black from ColourPop. They're just exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to the waterline. Again, this one is in Honeydew. It's just a very light cream shade if I'm trying to like brighten the waterline. You know, it's good to have a shade like this, but it has to be something that really is nice and pigmented, otherwise it doesn't show up. I made a mistake. This is my other multi-chrome gel liner from ColourPop. It's like purple to blue, so hopefully you guys can like see that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna keep all of these ones. They're just some of my favorites. And then I have one of the multi-chrome flakes from Essence. This is like a watery, goopy mess. I talked about this in my worst of beauty for 2024. Oh my gosh, it's like dried out now, but it was like so emollient that if I tipped it over, it almost like fell out. This is gross and creepy and not a Danessa Myricks dupe in any way, so I'm gonna throw this away. It's just not even worth passing along. All right, now all of my Moira Beauty multi-chrome gel liners. I love these. I have all but one shade. So this one is in Nova. Some of these are on the lighter side. Like some of these are not as like opaque as the ones from ColourPop, and that's okay, just depending upon what I'm looking for. And then I have Chroma, which is a light blue. Again, not super opaque, a little bit on the lighter side. Hopefully you guys can see that. I feel like the light is like kind of washing them out, or it's just not focusing properly. Anyway, some of these look very similar, so it's hard to like tell what they are, because this one looks very similar to like this packaging, even though this is a different shade. This is Electra, but these lock down and stay all day. These last so long that if I don't get them off after swatching them right away, they stay on forever. There's Buzz. This one doesn't flip as much. It's just more opaque blue. Some of these aren't as flippy. Honestly, if it were between the Moira Beauty and the ColourPop multi-chromes, the ColourPop multi-chromes are definitely more flippy. And then Ultra is also a very light purple. It's almost like just like a lilac shade. It's okay. Some of these lighter ones are definitely like not my favorite, but I don't want to get rid of any one of them just yet, I don't think. Flare, it's like a goldy green. And then there is Phoenix. These are not gonna stop rolling, my gosh. A greenish yellow is kind of what that is. That one shows up in the waterline pretty well. Arguably some of these are pretty similar, and then this final one here is pretty intense compared to some of the like lighter ones here that don't show up very well. This is in Rhea. So I have or had all of the ones but one when they initially released. They've probably added to it since then, but I still want to hold on to them even though these three look pretty similar. I think though that I'm going to hold on to the Make Beauty one for now just because it locks down, and I don't feel like this one, which is the only other one that's fairly similar, is kind of like this goldy one for the waterline. So I'm going to keep it. So I'm not going to like just count how many I'm keeping, but I will show you. I ended up keeping like this little section here, and then everything that I'm decluttering is here, which is a decent section or a decent lot for a drawer that's pretty full but small. Like it's not a big drawer, so it gets full pretty fast. It's just like a little section inside the drawer. So I feel good about what I'm decluttering in the eyeliner department. I think next I'll work on this section, which is all of my eye bases, my glitter primers and things like that. I don't need all of these. I pretty much reach for the same couple over and over. I also have some eyeshadow glues in here. I have one from AOA Studio that's the strip lash adhesive. This is not even got into a speed review. This is part of a lot that I bought from AOA Studio, and I did like a full face of a ton of stuff. So that has to stay for now. The one from Duo, how many more do I have? Is this like the last one that I've held on to? I think it is. I think this is the only other lash glue that I have kept because I only use the Moira Beauty 2-in-1 lash adhesive. But for having one glue, this is fine. I'll hold on to it for now because I prefer it more than the AOA Studio. Now, in terms of my glitter primers, it's these three. So I have the Tacky Base Glitter Eye Primer from AOA Studio. Again, haven't done a speed reviews. The glitter primer from Moira Beauty, it will stay because I really enjoy it. And then the glitter primer from NYX. Honestly, I will end up decluttering this because it's not better than the other ones. It's just okay. But both the Moira Beauty and the NYX are just better glitter primers in general. So those are the two that I would hold on to. As far as like eyeshadow primers go, I have some that are like more tinted, like this one from True and Luscious, the Angel Eyes eyeshadow primer. It's very similar in terms of how much coverage that it gives to the one from Juvia's Place, so I don't need both. Oops, a lot came out. The Juvia's Place is just, oof, it's so pigmented. Whereas the True and Luscious one, it's not like as opaque, and it's a little bit of a tackier formula. I don't know, this one from Juvia's Place, I pumped out a lot. I don't need both of these. I mean, honestly, I prefer this one. It's not quite as pigmented, but it still like does the trick. I just think it's a better shade overall. I think the one from Juvia's Place is just too intensely white, and it's just not something that I use. Like something like this, I definitely could have gotten a deeper shade like shade 1, but it's opaque and it's full coverage. You'd have to use something like that, I feel like, if you're going to use like a really intense or super bright eyeshadow and you want it to really pop, but I very infrequently do that, so I'm going to pass along the Juvia's Place one and just hold on to the one from True and Luscious. And then I have two that are like super similar, the NYX Ultimate Eyeshadow Base and then the one from Moira Beauty. I again do not need both of these. They're so sheer. They have like virtually no pigment to them. Neither of them get super tacky.
Good night, Mom.
Can I have a kissy?
Are you recording this, son?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
No.
I love you.
Show me the video when we're done.
Okay, I love you. Good night, boo. I mean, honestly, the one from Moira Beauty is more tacky. The one from NYX sinks into the skin a little bit better. I don't know which is better for the purposes of an eyeshadow primer. And I think I like the NYX just a little bit better. So I'm going to keep the NYX and pass along Moira. And then the AOA Studio one in Natural, the Shadow Stay. I haven't used it, but a couple of times. It's pretty similar to both the NYX and the Moira. I think this one offers like a little bit more coverage because the other one's just even more sheer, but it hasn't, again, gone into a speed reviews and I haven't used it a ton, so I definitely want to hold on to it until I've at least talked about it in like a full roundup video. And then I have a pearly eye base from Kiko Milano. I don't need a pearly eye base. I think I got this like in an advent calendar, so I didn't specifically purchase it, but I don't need something that's pearly if I'm gonna go and cover it up with eyeshadow, you know? It's kind of nice and tacky, but the pearliness, I don't know that it was needed. You know, it's got like a little bit of a sheen. You can kind of see it in the light there. So I'm gonna pass it along. And then probably my favorite is the one from Rare Beauty. It's warm. Once you get eyeshadow on top of it, it doesn't even matter. I think it helps the longevity of it, but I don't think it helps like make the shadow like more vibrant in any way. For whatever reason, I just like this one the best. It's the most mild. It's the easiest to apply. Nothing ever skips on top of it. So I'm gonna hold on to that one. So for now, I held on to these, but as you guys know, some of them will end up going. That's just the reality of it. Once I'm done talking about them, I'll end up putting them in for a declutter. But I'm getting rid of these 3. I think I only got rid of 3 from this section. Lip liners. I'm most definitely going to swatch all of these so we can see like in terms of shade and, I don't know, creaminess and how things are feeling, because some of these are older and I haven't touched them in a while. I only have one from Moira Beauty. This is a newer release from them. It's the Lip Appeal Waterproof Liner in 012 Senorita. Guys, if you want something that's going to lock down on your lips all freaking day, this is the lip liner for you. It's creamy, it's retractable, it locks down, and it lasts longer than the lip products that I put on top of it, so it definitely stays. I have one here from Basic Beauty that's in a brown shade. I'm not attached to it, and it's brown, and I like to keep my browns pretty limited. It's in Cocoa, so I'm gonna pass this one along. Yes, I just have one from Rare Beauty. It's the Kind Words lip liner, and this one is in the shade Humble. I think it's the same as like the lip product that I had. It's decent, it's creamy, it's not the longest lasting, but I think for now I'll hold on to it. I have one here from the Beauty Vault. This one is in the shade Carmen. I don't think this is retractable. No, it's not, but I can get some out of it. It's a pretty burgundy shade, but I want to look at the other burgundies that I have. I've got one here from NYX that's in the shade Plum. That's pretty burgundy, that I prefer a little bit more because I prefer something that's retractable. So I'll hold on to that, and then I'll get rid of the one from Beauty Vault. I don't reach for it. We might as well just keep going with the NYX ones because I have 3 more. So I've got another one in the shade Nectar. I love these. I love these. These are actually a really nice formula that is creamy, but not too creamy, and they last a good amount of time. This one is even like a burgundy shade in Jewel. Probably not one that I reach for all the time. This is definitely feeling like dry, this one right here. And then I have the final one is in the shade Nude Pink. I feel like this one has a little bit of a sheen to it, but maybe I'm thinking of this one. Yeah, this is just like a matte shade. All very similar colors, but that's how it goes. When you know, you know. I just sharpened this one from LA Girl. Ooh, it's the Shockwave lip liner. Oh my gosh, I got stuff all over me. There's like wet pencil inside of the sharpener. This one is in the shade Mauve. This feels super duper creamy, and I hate sharpenable pencils, so these often get ignored by me because once they get dull, I just never go back and sharpen them. But I love how creamy that felt, and I remember this being a really long-lasting lip liner once it dries down. And I also have this one from LA Girl too. This one is in Karma. This is not a shade that I would reach for very often. This one I might actually not hold on to. This is just definitely not a shade that I reach for very much. I think I can pass that one along, but I'm gonna keep the mauve one. I have a ton of one-off ones because I don't usually like buy a ton of the same lip liners like on purpose unless I love the formula. So let's go over those. I've got one from Charlotte Tilbury that's in Pillow Talk. This is such a disastrous little pencil. Like, it's already popped out and broken, but it's such a good color. I'll hold on to it. Then from Pat McGrath, I have, what is this? Living Legend, I think is the shade here. Again, kind of a disastrous little pencil. These just break. These just break so easily. That's why I'm not a fan of these sharpenable kinds. Both of these were minis, by the way, so I haven't just like used these up, but I'm gonna hold on to it. The one from About Face is also sharpenable. Oh, that is so creamy. It reminds me a lot of the one from LA Girl, the Shockwave liner. This one is in the shade Midnight Seduction. I do like it. I will hold on to it. Here's another plummy one from Essence. I feel like this one's on the drier side already. No, it's pretty creamy still. But I love the formula so much. This is the problem, is that I get to swatching these and there's nothing wrong with them, so I don't feel like decluttering them. And it's not something that takes up a huge space. They're in like one cup on my counter. So I never feel as though I'm overwhelmed by lip liners necessarily, other than I can't see what's in there. Then I have one from Lunar Beauty. It's in Milk Tea. This is a shade that I really just don't like. It's like an orangey brown, so I'm gonna declutter that one. Then I have one from Mellow that's in the shade Rose. This is kind of an orangey shade too, so that can go because I wouldn't have anything to pair it with. I have this one in red from Kiko Milano, but it's like a blue red, super creamy. It comes with a smudger. This one is in the shade 409, and I think that's it. Everlasting Color Precision Lip Liner. So because it's like a blue red, I definitely want to hold on to it. As far as I can remember, I only have like 3 other reds. Like, these would be my 3 reds. So do I need them all? I don't know. I don't wear reds that often. This is from Moonlit. It's Loon number 49 Kobe. Let me see this red. It's kind of like an orangey red. Actually, it's kind of like pinky. Then I have one from Patrick Ta. It's the Precision Lip Crayon, and that's why she's late. This was feeling dry the last time I used it. Oh, it is so dry. That's probably why it's like one of these click up ones, so that the formula doesn't dry out. It just matches the lippy that I have that's in the same color, and so for that reason, like, this would be nice to just keep it. Unless I get rid of that lip pencil, then I have a matching lip liner, although I don't know that that's necessary for a matte lip pencil, but I think I'll still hold on to it. I don't like that this is like a little sticker, you know? I don't always like see it. It's very, very creamy. Like, it doesn't lock down the way some of these other ones do. Not all of them, but some of them. So I'm just gonna pass it along. It's not one that I'm attached to. Trying to find my more like one-off lip liners, but I was wrong. I have another full size from Pat McGrath. This one is in Cosmic Vibes. It's one of the Permagel Ultra Lip Pencils. This is a sharpenable one too, but I do really like this shade, and it's a lot mauvier and lighter than the other one that I have. This one from Becca, so old, in Fearless. I really love this liner, and I love this brown. Like, it is still so creamy because it's retractable, but this brown is like, I don't know. I really like it, but I'm gonna let it go. I've had it for so long. And there are other browns that I have now that I would be fine with. The Milani Color Statement Lip Liner in Nude. I like this. It's not as creamy as some of the other ones, so it locks down a little bit better. And it's a nice like nudie mauve shade. I have a bunch of nudie mauve shades, but I think for now I'll hold on to it. Oh, here's another one from Basic Beauty, and this one is in Latte. I didn't like that other color, and I don't really like this color either, so both of my Basic Beauty ones I'm gonna let go of. I have one from Wet n Wild that's another like berry color, and this is in Plum Together. Ooh, that's super duper creamy. Like, now I'm getting too many plums. I pulled out the other one from like NYX again, just to see. They're the exact same shade. I'll pass the NYX one along. It just feels a lot drier. All right, some more one-offs here. I've got one from KKW Beauty. I have loved this for so long because it's like a perfect, I hate these sharpenable ones. Goodbye, I'm done with you. And then from Persona in Almond, another sharpenable nightmare. I can't stand these. They're just not my preference. I know people love, love, love the sharpenable kinds. I cannot deal with it. And I have no patience for sharpening things. So that's just my own little weird thing. And then I have these little teeny ones. I've got 3 from Makeup Forever in Anywhere Caffeine. I got these like in a Sephora set, or like a holiday set at Sephora. These are, I think, like some of their more popular ones. Wherever Walnut. If I was gonna grab for a brown shade, it would be one of these ones from Makeup Forever. And then the brownest of them all is Limitless Brown. I don't know why this is my lip liners. I'm gonna move this to my eyeliners, but I'll hold on to it. But I'll keep these two as lip liners. This little one from Sephora is so good. It's the liner to go, lip liner to go in Vintage Pink. It's so good. It's so creamy, and it's like the creamiest of all of the pencil lippies that I've ever tried. It's like such a good lip liner from Sephora. I don't think Sephora has bad lip liners at all. As a matter of fact, here are the retractable ones that I have from them. I think it's just these two that are remaining. Yeah, probably. But do I need both of these shades? This one is Nothing But Nude. Is it too brown? These are very creamy, so they don't last super long, but they're fantastic formula. Actually, I'm gonna keep this one because I got rid of, I don't know, the Persona and the KKW, which I did like. And then this one is like the mauve shade, Sink or Suede, but super creamy. Oh, these are so good. And this is such a cool tone shade too. And I don't really have like a ton that are like this. I don't think, like once they actually translate to my lips. Then I have two from the Chucky collection. I've got both of them. And I held on to these because they're actually a really nice like creamy pencil formula, but they're both just so deep and I almost never reach for shades like this. So I'm gonna pass them along because they're just sitting around. All right, let's go through all of these liquid lip liners that I have from AOA Studio. You guys, I started with one shade and I went back for 4 more because they're $1 or $1.77, something like that. These haven't gone into my speed reviews yet, but I highly recommend them. You guys, for $1.77, these are so worth it. These are the lip liner pens. They're a liquid lip liner. They dry down, they stay all day. Be careful the lipstick that you pair them with, because if they fade faster than this, you're gonna have lip liner left and nothing else. These lock down, lock, lock, lock. These are incredible. If you like something like this, they are so good and they're so precise. They're a liquid lip liner. It's like putting on a matte liquid lip in this really precise ballpoint pen is what this is like. This one is in maroon. I loved them so much, I had to go back for more. This one is Rose Brown, which is my absolute favorite. That is such a gorgeous nudie shade on, but both of those colors are absolutely great. Mauve, it's not as mauve as I would like. It's almost like brown, but it's called mauve. And then Eggplant, I love this. This is like My Lips but better. Love this shade. And then I got this red one just to have because it's good. It's more like an orangey red, but these are fabulous, fabulous. So those for sure stay. All right, these are the last of them. I have 4 here from Juvia's Place, and I have liked these over the years because they're retractable, but do I need all of these shades? The Luxe Liner, this one is in Cola. Gosh, it is so brown. I don't think I need that. I really don't. And then this one is in Lush. I love this one because it's a very mauve-y shade. These are very creamy. They're not the longest lasting, but I still like them. And then this one is in Sweet Enough, I think. Sweet Nothing. No, I was wrong. This is like an orangey brown shade. So do I need this? No, I don't care for that shade either, really. And then this one, the last one in Love Me, it's a little bit of like a deeper pink shade. So I like both of these, but these two, this one and this one, I'm gonna let go of. Not that they're bad, they're just not shades I ever reach for. And then I have 2 Huda Beauty ones. These are called the 2.0s, right? Lip Contour 2.0s. This one is in Rusty Pink. Love, and I love that it's retractable and not sharpenable. So that one gets to stay. And then Pinky Brown. Like, these are such good lip liners. I love the Huda Beauty lip liner formula. I should get more of those. Well, I don't really need more, but if I did, I would. And then I have 2 of the NYX non-retractable ones. These are the lip pencils in, here's Nude Pink. I'm gonna just like put it here. It's a little bit light for what I typically go for, but I like how creamy these are. And these are like the kind of sharpenable pencils that I would like. The ones that are like almost sharpenable plastic, not a fan of. I just find that the pencil falls out of them. But these wooden ones, they're decent. I like a wooden sharpenable pencil way more than the other kind. This one in Peekaboo Neutral, also a pretty good shade. Both of these get to stay. So again, I'm probably not going to count these. But here are all the ones that I am getting rid of versus here are all the ones that I am keeping. Honestly, it's like, is that half? Is that close to half? I don't know. I think I did pretty good. I think I got rid of like a considerable amount of lip liners that I never touch. So I feel good about that. Okay, after like much to do about nothing, I got together everything that I am decluttering versus keeping. So this is all the stuff that I'm keeping. This is all the stuff that I'm decluttering. This actually feels good because again, this all comes out of one drawer. And I feel like I got rid of almost half of what I had in that drawer. So that feels a lot lighter. Let's move on to mascaras now. All right, this is much too many mascaras. So I want to pare this down. I want to try and pare this down as much as I can, be realistic with myself. And I've been testing a lot of these again recently. So I think I have a pretty good idea of what needs to go. So I'm just gonna pull them out here and start with like a group at a time. So starting off with Kiko Milano, the Maxi Mod Volume and Definition Mascara. This one is very interesting and very different. It's got this really, really tiny wand on it. I think that it doesn't stand out for me. It's a little bit of a drier formula, but I don't think it's like ultra pigmented, and I really like my mascaras to be pigmented and also transfer resistant. I love a volume and definition, like don't get me wrong, way more than like lengthening. I didn't find this overly unique and stand out, so I'm gonna pass it along. This one from Maybelline is a repurchase. Actually, my husband bought me like a set. It's the Maybelline Sky High. It's decent for the lower lash line, but I'm mostly looking for a volumizing mascara, and this is a very thin, very lightweight, more lengthening formula, so that's kind of why I like it for the lower lashes. And I love wands like this that are the shorter bristled plastic molded wands as opposed to like the natural fibers. That's just my preferred style. The Kiko Milano's the same way. It's very little bristles. I prefer that. This is newer. I just pulled it out of like the box of the set that it came in. So I'm gonna hold on to it for now. The one from Huda Beauty, the One Coat Wow Mascara, I think this is pretty decent. Again, just that plastic molded bristle wand. It's a little bit of a heavier, tackier formula, and I do like it. I honestly, it's getting older and I never reach for it anymore, so I'm gonna pass it along. I'm gonna throw it away, really. This one's newer, and it's a newer release too. It's the Tarte XL Tubing Mascara. I enjoy this one a lot more than I thought I would. Like, it's decently pigmented. It's that kind of wand that I really enjoy, and I can get really like close to the lash line with it. I wouldn't say that I notice it like overly tubing. You know, the way that, like, for example, the mascara is from Thrive Cosmetics, like that's a really nice, like, super tubing mascara. This one's a little bit of a lighter formula, not as tubing, but it's pretty pigmented. Like, it's not bad as a tubing mascara. I did buy this from Ulta when it came out, like in the mini size, just so that I could test it out, and I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. This one from Givenchy, I bought as a mini too. I can't remember what this mascara was called, but I do really enjoy it. Again, it's the shorter plastic molded bristle wands. This one is very lightweight. It has a little bit of tack to it. When I say lightweight, like, it doesn't weigh the lashes down. It like almost curls them. This is such a good mascara, and it's nice and pigmented. The problem is this mascara transfers on me when I get hot or start sweating, so I'm not gonna keep it because I wore it just recently and it was like transferring, and I was looking in the mirror after like being outside doing whatever it was that I was outside doing, and I was like, absolutely not. I won't be having raccoon eyes. So aside from the fact that it transfers, it's such a good mascara, like such a beautiful formula, and it looks really flattering on the eyes. This one from Lawless, I have loved the longest out of all these other mascaras. It's the One and Done mascara. This is such a great volumizing mascara. Like, it is a tacky, super pigmented formula. It has like one of those balls on the end of it. Oh, it coats the lashes though, like with intense pigmentation. The problem is, I don't think this is probably everyone's cup of tea because it's a thicker formula. It's heavy, it will weigh the lashes down for sure. But I don't mind it. I think there's a time and a place for that. And if I curl them right, it's fine. So I'm holding on to this one. These two from AOA Studio, if you saw my video, then you know how I feel about them, but I'm gonna reserve my thoughts until when I do my speed reviews, I guess. This one is the Big Boss Mascara. It's for volume and length. I might feel differently like after these start to dry out a little bit more, but yeah, I wasn't like overly impressed with it. And then the Fat Lash, I think is for length. It doesn't really say, but it was very like goopy. Like if you can see, it just picks up like a lot of the product, and it wasn't as intense as I thought it was going to be for like how much product was picking up on it. All right, this is a repurchase. This is the Calibre Come Hell or High Water mascara. This is also a tubing mascara. This is one of the natural bristled ones that I will tolerate because it's so little. This is a really good lightweight formula, not as intense as I like now, but still such a good waterproof tubing mascara if you like that sort of thing. And it's more volumizing than it is lengthening, which is my preference. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Push-Up Lashes. I have really liked this in the past because it's like a really dry formula and it coats the lashes pretty nicely, but it's just not as pigmented as I am reaching for. I have repurchased this like several times, honestly. Like I've had this in my collection in and out so many times, and this is like, I think one I got like in an advent calendar, maybe the Vogue advent calendar. So it's 6 months old at this point, like just around the 6-month mark. But I don't think I opened it right away, so it's probably not even quite 6 months. But when I tested it recently, I was like, no, this is just not as pigmented as I'm going for these days. So I'm gonna pass that one along. All right, here's the next group I think we'll go through. The Fenty Beauty Hella Thick Mascara. I did not like this when I first got it. And then as the formula started to dry out, I realized this is such a good volumizing mascara. It's pretty creamy in that it doesn't have like a ton of tackiness to it, which sometimes I do like as long as it deposits like enough pigmentation. And this is pigmented and it gives you volume, but it is like, it says hella thick. The thing with this one is it will transfer. It will. If it gets too hot, it will. Or if I'm like sweating or whatever. So if I feel like I might have a low-key day, I will wear this. So I still want to hold on to it. It's getting at the end of its life though. One of my favorite mascaras, and I'm missing the other one. Somewhere lives my other Beauty Bay High Key mascara. I have 2 of these. I bought these in a set. The other one might not even be open. Oh, it's right here. I see, here it is. So it's not even opened yet. But this one I've just recently opened and tossed the older one. I love this mascara. It's more of a tackier formula and it's a little bit heavier than some of my others. Like in terms of the formula, it definitely is on the thicker side, but this is such a beautiful, like super volumizing mascara while it also gives definition and length, and I can't say enough good things about this. I really can't. The only thing is I think I prefer the one from Ritual Defeat now more since I've tried it, because these are like my top 2 mascaras. The Beauty Bay High Key for sure, so I'm going to keep that one and the one that's unopened. And then the one from Ritual Defeat is the Levitation Lash. This is such a tacky formula, and it's also pretty lightweight, but it's just more pigmented than the Beauty Bay. It just gives you more volume, more length, a little bit more definition maybe. It's such a beautiful mascara that lasts all day and doesn't transfer. So I'm going to keep that one. Now this is a repurchase. I just got this the beginning of this month. The Tower 28 Make Waves Mascara. I just don't love this as much as I used to. I mean, it's got the characteristics of mascaras that I would really like in terms of like the wand, and it's a little bit of a tackier formula, but it's just not as intensely pigmented as I remember it being. And this is my 3rd tube. Every time the formula seems different. Every time I pick up a different tube, it's not the same as the last, which is super weird. The first time I got it was super intensely pigmented. but it dried out like super fast. The second time, it was a little less intensely pigmented and it lasted a little bit longer. This one, I don't know if it's gonna dry out super quickly, but it's just not intensely pigmented. Again, the inconsistencies with the bottles that I've gotten, or the tubes that I've gotten from this, it just blows my mind. But it's brand new, so I'm gonna keep it for now. This one from Bobbi Brown, the Smoky Eyes Mascara, is actually pretty decent. It's a natural hair bristled wand. It's like on the drier side for the formula, but it was more pigmented than I thought it was gonna be. I think I'll chopping block this one. I don't think I've reached for this one in the last month. I'd like to retest it to see if I wanna hold on to it. This one from e.l.f. is the Lash Extender Mascara. Now I kept this one because it was really popular. A lot of people were like equating it to like the Sky High and other mascaras like that, even the Tower 28. This is no pigment for me, none. Not for what I like. My lashes are nearly blonde or just non-existent. They're so thin. So if I don't get like a thickening formula or something that's really pigmented, it's just not my preference. I want something that pops, so I'm gonna declutter this. And then this one from KVD, I have really liked the full sleeve mascara, and I think this was kind of like a runner-up from 2023's releases and the mascaras that I really liked, because it's such like a clean formula. It's very lightweight and all that stuff, but it's just not intensely pigmented enough, and so I skip over it all the time. Like I like how clean it looks and how wispy it looks, and if you like one that's more clean and lengthening, then this is good. Even though I think this claims to be volumizing, it is definitely not. The packaging is very cool on this, as KVD does. It's older and it's not as intensely pigmented or volumizing as I like, so I'm gonna pass it along. This one from Queen Musea I got in PR, and it's the Queen Musea 2053 mascara. You guys, if you like a feathery ass lash, this will give it to you. It's not my preferred wand. This kind of wand just freaks me out. Like, it's too much. There's too much going on. Even some of the bristles look like they're sticking out at this point. But if you guys like a wispy, feathery lash, this gives you the most wispy, feathery lash I have ever seen. And for that reason, I think it's a decent mascara. It's just not my preferred look that I reach for all the time. This packaging is heavy though. This is like a super heavy ceramic material. Like, it's good quality. It's just that the wand isn't really my thing. And also, I don't always reach for like wispy and length, so I'm gonna pass it along. I got the Love the Lift mascara from Sephora. I didn't love this as much as I do now. I think it's a pretty good dupe for the Tower 28, and it's more pigmented than the Tower 28. It's not exactly the same formula. Like, the Tower 28 is a lot drier than this one is. This one has like a little bit of substance in the formula itself. I just wore this recently and was like, yes. Like, it gives a really, really nice curl that the Tower 28 doesn't. So I do like this mascara. One here from Essence, I feel the same exact way about. I didn't like it as much as I do now. Something about when the formula starts to dry out, man, it can take a mascara from shit to great, I tell ya. It's the I Heart Extreme Crazy Volume Waterproof Mascara. I thought this just wasn't intensely pigmented. It didn't give me the volume. I was like, what the hell? Like, Essence, I know you to do a good mascara, and I heard, I don't know, somebody on YouTube like raving about this. But when the formula started drying out, I was like, there she is. So good. Such a good volumizing mascara. And also, you know, I love wands like this. Really tightly packed, short bristles, because I can get really close to the lash line, where I'm that kind of person that like freaks out if the mascara wand, like, oh, if it touches me and it's like too pokey. Anyway, I highly recommend this if you're looking for an affordable volumizing mascara. Like, even I would say that it's comparable. It's not as good, but it's comparable to my Beauty Bay High Key mascara for sure. So I feel like if I repurchase that, I'm gonna let it sit for a minute before I like go in and touch it. Like, maybe just open it and then leave it for a while, let it dry out, I think is what I will do. All right, this L'Oreal Panorama mascara, not for me. Not pigmented. It claims to have like intense volume and whatnot. It just, I don't know. It's just not pigmented on the lashes. I don't know what it is. But again, this could be something where I could pick it up later and like all of a sudden start loving it. But I have so many mascaras in my collection. Like, look how many I have open. I don't need to fart around with this guy. All right, I might as well grab the last of these. So I have one that's still in the box that I'm going to pass along to my sister because I've never used it. It's actually just the primer. It's the Sky High Lash Gift Set. I did take out the mascara. You guys saw that. But then the primer also came with it. Tinted primer. So don't use lash primers. So I'm going to pass this along to my sister. I'm not going to keep it. I have one from Polite Society. It's just like a little tester. It's the GOAT or Gloat. Greatest lashes of all time. Again, it has a one style that I would really like. Pretty similar to a lot of the other ones. It's just either not enough product in this or it's just not pigmented enough. It's a drier formula, so it really grips the lashes and all that. And I think it gives good length and good volume, but it's just a little tester and I wasn't like overly impressed with the pigmentation. So I'm gonna throw that one away as well. And then the Telescopic Lift Waterproof Mascara from L'Oreal. I don't know what the hell the hype was on this. Like, this wand is too stabby and I don't like how inconsistent the bristles are. Like, I get that there's a technique for applying this and then one side is longer than the other, but I don't think that's necessary. I don't typically use a technique other than like rolling onto the eyes. I mean, it's not bad. It's more lifting and lengthening than it is volumizing. So for that reason, it's just not a mascara that I reach for all the time, like that style. This Refi mascara went into my worst of beauty for 2022. Why do I keep saying 2022? It's 2024. I feel like it has good reviews. It's like a bestseller on Sephora, but this was gimmicky to me. This is not like a curved shape of my eyelash, you know, if I was like gonna start here and then roll it up, but it barely picks up any product. It's just pretty gimmicky in my personal opinion. And since I have already talked about it, I'm not gonna hold on to this. I think I had like kept it just to keep as reference in case I talked about it again, but it's a mascara, you know, this is just not something that like lasts. So I wouldn't want to keep it for reference. And then the Sky High Mascara Mini, because I have the full size, I don't need the mini. I got the mini free in something, I think. But I mean, I already have the other one and I don't know what the difference is between the black and this. Like, is one waterproof and one isn't? Like, I'm not even sure. But because I have the full size, I don't need this little mini. We're gonna pass it along. Same thing with this one, the Falsies Lash Lift. This was just not pigmented for me. And that confused me. It's a very lightweight formula. Again, just super emollient. So it doesn't like stick or grip to the lashes and no pigment was coming off. So nope. And then this one from Essence is the Lash Like a Boss Instant Lift and Curl. I don't like the wand. I don't always like curved wands like this, but it was more than that. Sometimes these bristles, when they're like really short and plastic like this, like sometimes they can be stabby, which is what I found with this. And this transferred on me a lot. So it's intense though. Like the pigmentation on this is, it is the most intensely pigmented mascara of all of these ones. So if you like something that's like super duper opaque, like this is really good. It's a transfer-er. You know how some Essence mascaras are. All right, these final three. The Gucci, if you like high-end mascaras, the Gucci is definitely a good contender. It's so buildable. Buildable, buildable, buildable. This is the most buildable mascara that I have, which typically means that it stays emollient long enough that you can continue building it, but they don't always build. Even though you can keep the product going, and it doesn't start like getting chunky or dry out on your lashes, it doesn't always mean that it continues to build or get more intense, where the Gucci one does. This is the most buildable of all of the mascaras that I have. So I think I'm still gonna hold on to it for now. And then the Fireworks mascara from Maybelline. This is like a brand new mascara. It's a brand new release. Again, not as pigmented as I would like. It looks like it would be nice, but I already had set it aside to get rid of it because I wasn't impressed with the formulation here, and I'm not really looking for lengthening. All right, this is another repurchase, I think. No, this is not, but I do need to repurchase this. This is the Ami Collet mascara. Love it. This is top three mascaras right here. The Lash Amplifying Mascara. This is a little bit different. This is a natural bristled wand and not plastic, but again, it's like short, so I do enjoy it. Yeah, top three. My top three mascaras are bing, bang, boom. It's just intense. It gives volume. I mean, it's a little bit chunky and clumpy, but I really like that. But like everything that I'm looking for in a mascara is right here. But if I had to keep going, I mean, top five, probably these, the Cali Ray, the Lawless, the Ritual Defee, the Beauty Bay High Key, the Ami Calais. Like, again, if I had to keep going, I would throw in Fenty, and I would throw in, like, this is definitely not one that I initially loved, but I'm starting to love the I Heart Extreme Mascara Crazy Volume from Essence. Like, these would be the top, what does this make it? Top 7. Like, these are the ones that I reach for right now all of the time. All of the time. I may like these ones, some of these ones over here, like the Tower 28 is okay, but again, the inconsistencies are just, they're wild. The fact that the formula just never stays the same. So top 7. If you guys like volumizing, if you have barely there lashes and you want it to not transfer, don't buy the Fenty if you want it to transfer, but the rest of these, fantastic. Highly recommend these mascaras. Alright, I held on to 16 and I decluttered 16. And I don't think that all of these are going to be held onto. Like the 16 that I held onto, there is 2 in here that I'm going to declutter after I do like speed reviews. They will not stay in my collection. So that's, I'm decluttering more than I'm actually keeping, and I feel really good about it. To get rid of all of these, I'll throw all these away and then pass that one along. Anyway, that is the end of the video today, you guys. I do hope that you enjoyed. If you are interested in seeing more declutters, I've already got one for my primers, my concealers, and my powders up on my channel. I'm going to keep going through my whole collection. It's just that time. The fact that I had half of these in my collection that really I felt good enough to pass along, like, tells you it was kind of overdue, even though I feel like I do these declutters all the time. It's just overconsumption essentially when you're trying to film videos for your channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope that you consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. I'm out of here and hope to catch you all in my next video. Bye guys.